start. So a very morning everyone once again. Right here I am sharing my presentation. I believe every one of you can look at the presentation, right? You can write in the, okay. So every one of you can see the presentation. So yes, I am from Astro Wonder Education. We deal in online interactive learning sessions, right? Before to COVID era, we were not in online sessions, right? We were actually conducting session live in schools. We had partnership with schools where we were doing STEM based hands-on sessions. But in this COVID time, we came up with this concept of online STEM based hands-on learning, especially regarding the space class, right? And it got much appreciation, and it was much appreciated by everyone. And so I am going to show you a few snaps of some of my students. Some of you might be there in the session itself, right? So this is our few snaps from our sessions that we take. So students generally participate in one-to-one discussions with our educator, where they learn about a certain concept related to space science and astronomy, and they actually do a DIY activity to understand the activity in a understand the particular topic in a better way, right? So going ahead with today's topic. So let me I will play it once I explain you this. Okay, so going ahead with today's topic. Today's topic is about the eclipses, and specifically the solar eclipse, right? And this particular video that I'm going to show you is just a video about a general video about how a solar eclipse look. Just look at it so that it can actually, amaze you. The most important motive of this particular video is to amaze you rather than give you any scientific outcome right now out of it. Okay, so wow, wow. So hope you all liked the video. It was just a general video about how a solar eclipse actually look like. It's a time lapse of solar eclipse, right? It was a total solar eclipse. Now let's go ahead with our presentation, right? So eclipses are generally, you must all be knowing this, right? Eclipses are generally of two types, a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. So in general, what happens in a solar eclipse is the light coming from sun that is the that is what gives light to us in the daytime, and that is why our day are bright, right? That particular light which is coming from the sun is occulted by the moon. When I say occulted, it means moon stops the light that is coming from the sun. See, what happens when I put my hand just in front of the light and on my face, so you can see the shadow of my hand on the face, right? So this is what I am facing right now. When I see, I cannot see the bulb. The same thing you can do with a bulb right near you, or a tube light right near you. If you put your hand on it, you won't be able to see it. Simple thing. That's what happening in solar eclipse. Moon is coming in front of the sun, right? And in lunar eclipse, what is actually happening is, suppose you are following your hand's shadow on a wall, right? Suppose there is a white wall right in front of you, which is outshined by a bulb in your room, right? And once you put your hand in and obstruct the light going to the wall, you will see the wall gets darker with your shadow, right? The same thing happens in a lunar eclipse, right? The shadow of the earth which is falling on the moon makes the moon look darker, right? And that is what a lunar eclipse is. simple concepts. Now if I say in simple terms, solar eclipse is occultation of sun by the moon as seen from earth, and lunar eclipse is the shadow of earth casted by sun on moon, right? But for some reasons, eclipse have always been considered a bad omen across, the world. I'm not just talking about India, but entire world. There were obvious reasons for it, because from ancient times, something which remained in the sky forever were moon and sun, right? People used to see them every day, like for moon almost every day. There are certain times when you do not see the moon, right? But it's regular, right? Same thing happens to sun. You see the sun every day. So people used to worship the sun. They used to consider them as god. Now eclipse was something which was like occulting the moon, occulting the sun, darkening the moon. So if something is, making change to a godly figure, it was obvious to, consider it a bad omen, right? Because it was, people at that point of time did not have that much scientific knowledge, so they considered eclipse as a bad omen. And at that point of time, it was not bad to consider it. But let's talk about this belief in today's time, right? But before that, a very very uh, interesting fable that we have in Indian mythology, right, about Rahu swallowing the sun. How many of you have heard about this term called Rahu? There's a planet in the Indian mythology known as Rahu. How many of you heard about him? Just write it. Very good. Sagar has heard about it. Just write in your chat box, right? You can simply write in the chat box. I do not want you to. Anvesha have not heard about Rahu. Not a problem. I'll tell you the story. It's an interesting story, not related to the science of eclipse. You do not need to know about it, but it's an interesting story to know. Very good. Rahu Ketu. Very good. Very good. So I'll tell you the interesting story. It's very, very small. I'll just crispen the story, and it's an interesting story. So what happened? You must have heard about the churning of the ocean, right? The Samudra Manthan that we call in the Indian mythology. So according to the Indian mythology, the ocean, the entire sea that was churned using a huge mountain and a huge snake, which was one side held by the gods and the other side were held by the demons, right? They used to churn the ocean, and out of the ocean there were, what you can say, some secret treasures of earth. They came out, right? One of the treasure was a pious auxiliary, or you can say what we call in Hindi as amrit, right? Something you drink and you become immortal, right? So that came out, and the gods did not want the demons to have it. Why? Because if they have it, they will become immortal, and they will use that power to cast their, oppression on the general, humans, right? So gods did not want the demons to have it. So Vishnu, at that point of time, took avatar of a beautiful lady who was serving this particular auxiliary, but and by by and Vishnu was making sure that only the gods have it and the demons doesn't have it. But disguising himself as God, Rahu, who was his name was something else. I'm not do not remembering the name. His entire name was something different. So he sat in the queue of the gods and accidentally drank the auxiliary. So Vishnu, very good. If you know, please mute yourself, right? Please mute yourself, right? I want everyone to mute, keep yourself on mute, right? We are only using the chat box for this session. At the end, I will give you your chance to speak, right? We will have a 15-minute slot where you can ask your questions, right? So uh, this demon drank this auxiliary, and God Vishnu had to cut his head using his Sudarshan chakra, and one of the head was called Rahu, and the the body was called Ketu, and since then Rahu is chasing the sun because sun is the god, right? Chasing the sun to eat it and to finish it. It's like a constant war going on according to mythology. Every eclipse he tries to eat the sun and fails it, and then swallows try to swallow it but not able to swallow it because it's too hot, and just throws it out. So that is the general mythology. How many of you believe in it? Tell me, how many of you believe in it? No worries, no one will judge you. Just tell me, like, how many of you believe in it on the chat box, or you do not believe in it, right? So mythology is always interesting, right? It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, right? But it's interesting. It actually uh, creates creates a form of inquisitivity, and we all love inquisitivity, curiosity, right? So I will go ahead, will not put too much time in this. Let's go to the uh, technical aspect of the eclipse further. But are eclipses actually harmful? Now, to know if the eclipses are actually harmful, we need to understand the science of the eclipse. And to understand the science of eclipse, we have a few general questions. Now, people say in an eclipse, the sun is covered by the moon, especially in the solar eclipse, right? The sun is covered by the moon. But I believe moon is too small to actually uh, cover the sun, right? If this is the sun, and if the moon has to cover it, it has to be equally big, right? So let's see what the actual facts are. So if I compare the diameters, the moon's diameter is nearly 3,500 kilometer, right? But the sun's diameter is somewhere around 14 lakh kilometers. Now when you compare this, the ratio of sun's diameter to the moon's diameter, that means sun's size to the moon size, its sun is actually 400 times bigger than the moon. That seems quite impossible for the moon to cover it, right? But another important fact that we uh, did not consider yet was the distance between earth and sun is 150 million kilometers, right? And the approximate distance between earth and moon is 4 lakh kilometers. So that also somewhere accounts for 400 times. So moon exactly is 400 times smaller than sun, but at the same time moon is 400 times closer than sun to us. So something if it's bigger, even bigger and farther away, it will look to you smaller, right? Same way, if something is smaller and nearer to you, it will look bigger to you, right? So what happens, as seen from earth, sun and moon are nearly of the same size. I wouldn't say the exactly the same size, because the moon keep on changing its size slightly. We'll talk about it later, but approximately the same size. They both are of the same size as viewed from the earth. Now why does the eclipses occur? So to understand this particular thing, we need to understand the geometry, because there are three things involved: sun, moon, and the sun, earth, and the moon. So to understand this geometry, to understand the science, we need to understand how they are behaving, what they are doing in space, right? So I have a small clip that I'm going to show it to you to understand what's actually happening in space, right? In space, these are just like three balls, right? Sun is a ball of fire, hot gases, right? Moon is another ball of rock, and earth is another ball of rock, right? Moon being the smallest, earth being of the middle size, and sun is the biggest, and they have the certain distances that we discussed, right? So let's see what actually happens when moon is going around the earth and earth is going around the sun. So exactly what's happening is moon is coming in between earth and sun, I believe every month, because it's about a month. Can you hear me, everyone? Sorry, sorry for the interruption, right? So if we just saw, right, the moon takes around a month to go around the earth, right? And in a month it's coming once between earth and sun, And same way, in a month it's going once behind the earth to actually be occulted by the earth's shadow, right? So we should have an eclipse every month, and that way, right? If I play the video again, you can understand that we should have nearly 12 eclipses in a year, and 12 solar eclipse and 12 lunar eclipse in a year. But that's not the case. Eclipses are generally rare. We got to see almost one every year. Now why does that happen? To know this, we need to understand one more fact that we are omitting over here. So we need to understand one more fact that we are missing here, and that's the tilt of the moon's orbit compared to the plane of earth and sun. So if you see, this is the plane of earth and sun. So just imagine like a 3D space, right? This is the plane of earth and sun, right? That means plane of earth's orbit. But the moon is going around the earth at a certain degree. It is inclined at certain degree when it is going around the earth. Now let's incorporate these in the previous video and see another video where moon is going around the earth and earth is going around the sun, but considering the tilt in its axis, the moon's axis, like if this is the plane of the sun's axis, this scale, so earth's orbit, so the moon's orbit is actually tilted like this, right? It's slightly tilted. So let's consider this particular thing and see a video where moon is going around the earth and earth is going around sun in a slanted manner, right? So now if you see, because moon, earth and sun's planes are different, so you can see there are 2 points mentioned at ascending node and descending nodes. Can you see this? Now, this particular points called ascending nodes and descending nodes are the place when the Earth Sun line aligns to the axis of ascending node and descending node, the eclipses occur, and that generally happens twice a year, right? That generally happens twice a year. That means the twice a year, just notice this particular thing. Okay, we will slow down a bit here. You, if you notice, right, the moon is exactly coming in between earth and sun, right? Because on at the descending node. So these are the two nodes which in Indian mythology which were considered as the two planets Rahu and Ketu, right? Because Indian astrologers, they were though they were believers of God, they had their own beliefs, but apart from that, they had their own mathematics as well. So with the mathematics, they actually calculated the nodes, they actually calculated eclipses of future, right? Aryabhat calculated the eclipses of past hundreds years with his calculations, right? But there was beliefs at that time. Science was not the supreme thing. Religion was the supreme thing at that point of time. So they have their own inferences out of it, right? So let's go ahead. So when the moon, earth and sun come in a straight line on the axis of nodes, eclipses occur. So as we have already discussed, there are two types of eclipse, lunar and solar eclipse. We will discuss only the solar eclipse today. We will leave the lunar eclipse apart, right? We will leave the lunar eclipse for now and we will discuss the solar eclipse. So let's understand what is a solar eclipse. Here is a small clip of the solar eclipse, right? Not a real picture, but it's just a animation, right? So what is happening in solar eclipse? The moon is coming in front of sun, right? As viewed from earth. So there are three types of solar eclipse. Even in this particular case, that is the tomorrow's eclipse, you are going to see actually the partial and annular eclipse, right? Some of you might be able to see only the partial eclipse. Some of you would be seeing both the partial and annular phases, right? Total is not there.
Sir,
Who is this?
sir, which is the location from which we can see the whole sun covered by the moon?
May I know your name?
Sir, Omkar.
Omkar, very good question, Omkar. Omkar, we would be coming to it. Just hold your horses for now. That's why I have kept the Q&A session at the end, right? We will be coming to it. We will cover each and every aspect of the eclipse tomorrow. So don't worry about that. Just hold your horses for now, and we will be getting back to it. I will ask you this. I will answer this question for you, right? Okay, let's go ahead. So eclipses are of three types in general: partial, annular, and total eclipse. So in a partial eclipse, sun is actually covered by moon partially, not totally covered with the moon. In a total eclipse, moon is exactly completely covering the sun. But in an annular eclipse, we need to understand this, we'll understand this later, that the moon should be a bit smaller, right, than the sun, so that it does not is not able to completely cover the sun, but you can see some part. So moon is at the center and you can still see some part of the sun, okay, which is called the ring of fire, right, around. So moon is at the center and you can still see some part of the sun. So we'll discuss about these eclipses. Tomorrow's eclipse is an annular eclipse. It's a rare eclipse and you would surely love watching it, right? So if you are lucky enough to be on the annular path, obviously, so that I will be telling you what's the annular path. So let's first discuss about the partial solar eclipse. But before that, we need to understand the small diagram, that illustration that's over here. Shorey, if you have a question, you can ask it in the chat box. Otherwise, I will be taking individual questions at the end. Okay, Shorey? The raise hand feature, we are not supporting it over here. Okay, please do not raise your hands. Okay, so yes, please do not raise your hands, Chirag. Okay, so let's talk about this particular illustration. Here we have the sun, right? We have the moon over here and the earth over here, right? Sun gives light, and moon and earth are non-luminous bodies. You must be knowing what are non-luminous bodies, right, everyone? Some bodies do not, they have their own light, right? Like the sun, like the stars, right? Like your bulb, electricity bulb, right? LEDs, they have their own light, right? They shine by their own light. But other things that you see around, like the bed, the sofa, your pen, anything, they do not have their own light. They just, you can see them because they reflect the lights coming from something. The same way, moon and earth are non-luminous bodies, and they can only be seen for when the light is falling on it. Now what happens, moon blocks the light coming from the sun. So light is coming from the sun and the moon is blocking the light. And when the light is blocked by an opaque object, there is a shadow which is casted, right? This is the cone of moon's shadow. Now, let's talk about the regions of shadow. I do not know if you have studied it or not, but it's very simple to understand. If you cast your shadow on any body, you will see the central region of the shadow is very dark. But around that central region of the shadow, which is dark, you will see a periphery of lighter shadow, right? This is called the penumbral shadow, and the central dark shadow is called the umbral shadow. You can do this experiment, take any object in the sun, put it under the sun, and when when you look at the this shadow of what the object is casting, take an opaque object, right? Obviously do not take a transparent object, right? So you will see the central part of shadow will be very dark, and right around it you will see some lighter shadow, that's called the penumbral shadow. Now when someone, okay, let's talk about this, okay, the region on earth under the penumbral shadow experience a partial solar eclipse. That means if you see these regions on earth, okay, you see these regions on earth, right, they are on the penumbral shadow of moon, they are not on the umbral shadow on the of the moon. And that is the reason these places will only see a partial eclipse, not a total eclipse, right? Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, I believe every one of you understood the partial eclipse, right? When the moon is not completely able to cover the sun, but it's covering the sun partially, right? Now let's talk about the total solar eclipse. Now the region over which the umbral shadow of this moon is falling, especially this particular region, okay, will observe the total eclipse. It's not just I'm not talking about just this position, but this umbral shadow will move with the rotation of the earth. So they will have its own path. We are not allowing other participants to annotate, so do not make a request to annotate. Okay, so this is the path of the shadow. So there will be a band on earth, on the earth. People lying on this band will exactly see the total eclipse, right? And again, people lying in these bands, right, this band and this band will see the partial eclipses, right? It's just not, the circle is not limited to one place, because the earth rotates, the circle of the cone of shadow will also rotate, the circle that the cone is casting, right? To understand the last type of eclipse, that is annular solar eclipse, we need to know another interesting fact about our moon that we have not studied yet. So let's know about it. So moon goes around the earth not in a circular orbit, right? You must have must have seen a circle. Okay, so you know what is a circle is. Okay,
That is called the elliptical orbit.
very good. Okay, but please keep yourself on mute. Okay, at the end I will be giving you, you can write it on the chat box either, right? Suppose I say this particular rubber band, can you see this rubber band? Okay, this rubber band here is a circle, right? It's not exactly a circle, but just consider this as circle. So an ellipse is something which is created by stretching this rubber band, right? So if I have a circular rubber band and if I stretch it a bit, okay, so an ellipse is formed. Now when the when anything is going in an elliptical orbit, right, you can just imagine this is not an circle, but this would have been a circle, right? Now if I would have stretched this rubber band of circle, this is what we get, the ellipse. Now in an ellipse, the earth is not exactly at the center but somewhat shifted to one side. We call this foci, but you do not need to know this, right? So what exactly we are trying to tell you over here is, at some point on the orbit of the moon around the earth, moon comes very close to the earth, and we exactly see a bigger moon, right? So here at this point is called perigee. The closest point on the orbit of moon is called perigee, when it's closest to the earth, and it's somewhat 3,62,000 kilometers. And the farthest point of earth orbit, that's slightly more than 4 lakh, that is 4 lakh 5,000 kilometer, is apogee, and here the moon looks the smallest, right? Here the moon looks the biggest. You must have heard about an event called super moon, right? So super moon occurs when the moon is at perigee, right, and it appears big, and it's a full moon as well, right? And there is an event also called mini moon or micro moon. You might not have heard it, but it's an event, right? So where the moon is exactly at the apogee. So we need to understand this thing, so that we understand that sometimes the moon becomes smaller for us and sometimes it becomes bigger for us, right? So when the solar eclipse happen, uh, you know when the solar eclipse happen, when moon is around the apogee, that is moon is smaller, the moon is not able to completely cover the sun. Moon is not able to completely cover the sun, and it goes inside the sun, right? While passing over it, it goes inside the sun, and you can still see a ring of fire around it, and this particular ring of fire event is called the annular solar eclipse. Now here if you see, the shadow, if the shadow cone is not able to reach the object, okay, so the another shadow cone generates, which is called antumbra, right? This is the region of antumbra, right? And this is the place which will see the annular solar eclipse, right? And rest again, these will see partial solar eclipse, okay? I believe you all understood the three types of eclipse. Just write on the chat box if you understood the three types of eclipse. What is annular, solar, and partial eclipse? Okay, ring of fire in the Japan Shaurya is what we call the region of volcanoes. That's something related to geography. Okay, this is not technical term ring of fire. It's just an artistic term we use for annular solar eclipse. So do not go in the technicalities of it. But it's nice that you know that ring of fire is in Japan. It's actually around the Pacific Ocean where a lot of active volcanoes lie. Okay. What is the third eclipse? The third eclipse is annular solar eclipse. The first one we studied was partial, the second one was total, and the third one was annular solar eclipse. Very good. So I believe every one of you understood what eclipses are and what are different types of eclipse. Let's Okay, Prathamesh did not understand annular solar eclipse. Prathamesh, I will cater your query at the end specifically. What specifically you did not understand about annular solar eclipse? For now, you can understand this much that annular solar eclipse is when moon generally on a general day moon is in equal size to the sun, right? But on specific days of when the moon is a bit away from earth, it becomes smaller. That means when it becomes smaller, it will become smaller than the sun, because generally moon and sun are equal in size when viewed from earth. So what happens is the moon is not completely able to cover the sun, but it actually gets inside the sun, fits inside the sun, and we can still see a ring of sun around the moon, right? It's a very beautiful event to observe, right? You all should not miss it. Another thing, okay, the ring of fire that I already told you. So in an annular eclipse, what exactly is happening is the moon is getting inside the sun and not completely able to cover it, so you see a ring around it, which is called the ring of fire. Oh, wow. So this is something very interesting. So I believe this is the most interesting part of eclipses that you will come to know today. So Bailey's beads and diamond ring. I believe it might be a bit technical, but it's easy to understand. So what happens is when the moon and moon is going to come in front of the sun, what happens? The moon's surface is actually very uneven. It has got a lot of mountains, it has got a lot of craters on it, and it's all not well finished, right? It got a lot of impact craters because there's no atmosphere, so a lot of space rock keep on hitting the moon and making a depression over there. So a lot of craters are okay. I believe Shru Kona, you have a question, right? I will surely take this question, but at the end let me just read the question out. When sun and moon are almost same size, and if moon is in between sun and earth, shouldn't the sun be smaller than the moon as sun is farther? uh, 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 See, sun and moon are not of actual size, of the same size. Sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, and at the same time sun is 400 times farther away, and that is the reason we see the moon and sun of the same size as we see from earth. It's not of the same size. You can understand sun is the papa of the solar system, or you can say it's the grandfather of the solar system. Earth is the mummy of moon, right? So moon is even smaller than earth, right? So sun is very very big, moon is very very small, right? Sun's diameter, that is distance, the largest distance you can make in a circle, is I will surely take you, but please mute yourself and answer on the chat box. 15 crore kilometer, okay. That's the distance, okay. Good. You know it, right? So the sun is actually very big, right? And moon is very small, 400 times big. So 14 lakh kilometer is the diameter of the sun. Moon's diameter is 3500 kilometer, so it's very small, okay. But at the same time, moon is very close to us and sun is very very far away, and that is the reason we see them of nearly the same size. But there's another point in it that adds to it, that moon goes around the earth in an elliptical orbit. That means sometimes it's close to us and sometimes it's far to us, right? So what happens actually is sometimes the moon appears bigger to us and sometimes it gets smaller, just because going away from earth on some particular days. And if a solar eclipse happen on those particular days, that is when the annular eclipse occur. I hope I make myself clear to you. If still not, I will surely answer it at the end as well, right? So I was telling you about the Bailey's bead. So moon's surface is very uneven, right? There are a lot of craters. So what happens when when the moon, actually, ends covering it, and there is a very small portion of sun left to cover. So these light from sun, it's a very momentarily event that you will see. It happens for a moment, not like it will go on for even seconds. You will see for a fraction of second. So what will happen, you will see a lot of beads kind of structure. You can see these beads over here. So these beads of light are caused due to the rough terrain of moon. Okay, but at the same time, when moon's last crater or last depression is, the light is coming from the last crater on the periphery, you see an outshine of light from there, and it looks like a diamond ring. That is a celestial diamond ring. And if you are lucky enough to be on the path of annularity, you can see this event live, right? I believe in December people from Kerala have watched it, so it was a beautiful beautiful thing to see. And but yes, I will talk about the precautions. You need to take care. You cannot see it with your naked eyes, so you need to take certain precautions to look at these events, right? So let's go ahead. Shaurya, what did particular you did not understand? Shaurya, I will talk to you at the end of the session, and we will talk about it. What do you did not understand? For now, you can write your questions in the chat box. Okay, let's talk about the contacts. So whenever two circular bodies are coming in front of each other, I have a marker and a laser pointer in front of you. Let's consider this marker to be the moon because it's smaller, and this laser pointer to be the sun because it's bigger. So when these two bodies come closer to each other, there will be a point where their periphery just touch each other, right? This point is called the first contact. What is it called? The first contact. Then slowly the body enters the other body, right? I'll probably take just the, okay. So when you see from the cross section, you will see this, wait, so you will see this, where this portion of the circular body is touching this portion. That is the second contact. Okay, let me explain you through the illustration itself. So here the first surface of the moon is touching the first surface of the earth, so this is the first contact. Then we have, second, this is consider point 1 on moon, point 2 of moon, right? This is point 1, 2, 1 of sun and 2 of sun, right? Point 2 of sun. So when 1 and 1 meet, it's first contact. When 1 and 2 of moon, that means 1 of sun and 2 of moon meet, it's the second contact. When the moon is completely inside the sun, it's called annularity. In case of total solar eclipse, it will be called totality, right? When 1 and one of moon and two of sun meets, then it's the third contact. And when the two of moon meets the two of sun, point two of sun, it's called the fourth contact. So these are like a general term, and this will we generally use, astronomers use, and they have specific timings as well. The first contacts, second contact, because this is important because this is the time frame in which you will observe the eclipse. So if I say the first contact of the tomorrow's eclipse is 10:21, that means eclipse will start at 10:21 and then go on at still somewhere around 1 o'clock or something. I'll have to see that, right? So this is what you need to know about it. Do you know such an eclipse is coming up tomorrow in India? Yes, we all know this. We have started our session on the same point, and we are lucky that it can be viewed from India. But it's an annular solar eclipse, and I believe not every one of you can see it as an annular eclipse. Some of you might not be able to see it as an annular eclipse. You would be seeing it as a partial eclipse. So how many of you want to know what exactly are you going to see? How many of you want to know? Okay, from your place. Okay, Sagar wants to know. Rahul, very good, very good. So there's an interesting website called timeanddate.com. So I'm going to timeanddate.com. There's a specific tool on it. You can simply even Google for time and solar eclipse map June 2020, and you will get this tool. But still, I have this link over here, so I will particularly go on this particular link and just copy it and show it to you what exactly is happening over here, right? So
So can you repeat the app's name?
app's name, it's not an app beta, but it's a website. Yes, it might be an app as well, but it's just it's like it's superimposing the eclipse path on the
Sir, can we use the Stellarium app?
no, stellarium is something totally different, right? Stellarium you cannot use for this particular purpose, right?
Sir, night sky.
Beta, please mute yourself. I'm writing this particular website in the chat box, but until then mute yourself. I'm writing this particular website in the chat box, right? Just mute yourself till then. Okay, can you all see my screen? Can you all see this time and date website? Hello everyone, can you see this time and date website?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So I'm writing it in the chat box as well, right? So this is the website. You can copy it, right? Timeanddate.com is the name. Time D will be double times Sanskriti. It will be time and date, right? Okay. So this is the website where you can specifically search for a location. Suppose I live in Delhi, so I will just search for Delhi and just press enter, and it will tell me what is the duration of. See, Delhi is not passing through the pink line. Can you see this dark pink line, everyone? Can you see this dark pink line? In this,
Sir, it is the Uttarakhand. We can see it from Uttarakhand.
there are a lot of places you can see it from. Just note the just note the magnitude. Here you can see the magnitude is 0.952%, right? And we can see partial eclipse, which is nearly 94%, 93.77%. Let's go down south and let's search for, say, Kochi. Okay, let's search for Kochi. Okay, and you so can we see an eclipse? Yes, we can see an eclipse, but it's 28% sun will be covered, not the entire sun. Right? Timing is also given. The eclipse will start at 10:10, maximum eclipse will be at 11:38, and the eclipse will end at 1:18. Let's come a bit north, say come to Bangalore, right? So let's come to Bangalore. The coverage will increase. So it's 36% now. Again, timings are given over here. You can see, right, different timings for every place, right? So these are in IST, I believe, right? Indian Standard Time. Time shown in IST, it's written over here, right? So let's come a bit further north. Say, let's come to Mumbai. Okay, I will show you some examples so that you can search for your city, right? So beta, I will take your questions right on the chat box for now. So Mumbai is 62%, right? So it's increasing as you go north. It's increasing. Let's write Jaipur, right? So Jaipur is 88.45%, right? Let's come to Delhi. We have already searched for Delhi. Let's go to somewhere, where the eclipse is, full. Say Sirsa. Sirsa in Rajasthan or Haryana is place where you can see the complete eclipse. And here,
Uttarakhand.
yes, so it's 98.92% because it's an annular eclipse. The entire, eclipse, in entire sun does not gets covered. So 98.92% means annular eclipse, right? So, I can see. So you are in Sirsa, beta? Okay, so let's. You are at. Okay. Okay, you are in Haryana. Okay, so Dehradun, again, annular solar eclipse is visible from there. We can talk about some place called Kurukshetra, if you have heard about Kurukshetra. Again, if you see, you can see the annular solar eclipse 98.95%. So these are the places from where the annularity will be visible. So you can search, you can go on this tool and search for your city and see if you can see the annularity from your place or not. Okay, let's get back to the presentation, okay, that we were conducting. So here we are, okay. So everyone can see the presentation? Everyone one can see the
Yes, sir.
presentations, right in the chat box. Yes, okay. So we just learned about this interesting tool. You have the link to the tool as well, right? You can know about your own places of solar eclipses, right? What percentage of eclipse you would be able to see, right? So how can we observe this eclipse? Obviously, observing it's not something specific to eclipses. You need to understand this. It's not that eclipse is harmful, but observing the sun on any day, if you see the sun with your naked eye, it's actually really harmful to see the sun with your naked eye. So what should we do? Should we not see the eclipse? No, we should. But to our rescue are some safe methods to observe the sun. So we are going to tell you about some safe methods. So we are talking about two major types of methods that we have. One are the direct methods, and the other one is the indirect method. Sorry. So the direct method are the methods where you are directly looking at the sun using some filter or something to obstruct the light, that can filter down the light so that the sun can actually be safe to view. Now you need to understand, sun is very, why is sun harmful to your eyes? Sun is very bright, so bright that it can burn your retina, right? Your eye has a lens, so you must have seen, done this activity of burning paper strip using magnifying glasses. Just write in the chat box yes or no. You can burn paper strip to actually, this using the sunlight, and you put a magnifying glass. The same kind of magnifying glass is there in our eye already. So if I'm looking at the sun directly, what we are actually doing is focusing the light of the sun using this magnifying glass on our retina. So in as a return, we actually burn our retina. Sanskriti, no issues, but you just need to know that you can actually burn a paper using sunlight, using a magnifying glass. Kunal, I just answered your question, right? Places where we can see annular eclipses are Suratgarh in Rajasthan, Sirsa in Haryana, Kurukshetra in Haryana, Yamunanagar, Dehradun, New Tehri district. So these are some places where you can see the solar eclipses in India. right? So the entire annularity, if you talk about, but exact, if you want to know the exact percentage of the sun and the timings and everything, you can go to the time and date tool. It's a very interesting tool to use, and you can know about any place you want. And for further eclipses as well, they always have a tool for any eclipse coming up, right? Yes, I do not know what's your name, who is logged in from Dell. Can you write your name as well? Someone who is asking, so from Kerala, will it be partial? Anish, okay, Anish, it's 28% yes from Kochi. You can check the exact percentage from your location, right? It changes with the latitude and longitude, right? So you need to search for your location and you will see the exact percentage and the start time of the eclipse, the maximum eclipse time, and the end time of the eclipse. Okay, Anish? Okay, so direct and indirect methods. Direct methods are a bit risky because suppose I am using eclipse glasses to observe the sun, and if the sunlight passes through somehow, if somehow I kept the eclipse glasses in some place and it gets damaged and the sunlight passes through, it can actually harm my eyes, right? So direct methods are risky. You need to take precautions while using direct methods. Always check your glasses properly, that it's right or not. Same way, if you're putting a filter on the telescope, you need to check that filter if it's properly working or not, right? So Sanskriti, you cannot use a sunglass, normal sunglass, to observe. uh, Sure, a very good question, Sukhdev. We are see generally in a city, it doesn't changes. Like if you are in Sukhdev Vihar or if you are in Dwarka, it won't change much. Sorry, but the thing is that you will be observing the eclipse obviously, but not through the solar view glasses. It In Delhi you are seeing approx I believe 95% of the eclipse. So it's really good to observe from Delhi, but yes, not the normal glasses. We are not going to use the normal glasses. You do not actually need to know direction, sorry, because sun is very bright to find in the sky, right? So sun rises somewhere in the east and for summer day it will rise somewhere in the southeast and set somewhere in the southwest. So you do not need to know. Sorry, please mute whoever has unmuted themselves. Right, so let's talk about the safe methods and unsafe methods in detail. So, safe methods, direct method needs supervision. Some of the direct methods are eclipse glasses. You must have seen eclipse glasses before. I also have one, I'll show you at the end. Right, these are telescope with the filter on the top of it, right? The same thing that is put on the eclipse glasses, the same kind of filter if I put in the front of the
Sir,
telescope.
there is a solar paper which we can use.
Solar
Uh,
paper would be the same as
sir,
the.
I have a telescope in which a solar paper was given. It can be used to see sun
It's
anytime.
if it's certified by an agency. Well, may I know your name?
Yes.
Who is this?
Sir, Omkar.
Omkar, very good, Omkar. So, Omkar, if it's certified by an agency, you can actually use it, right? Just see if it's certified by, if some ISO certification is there or not, right? So, I have these glasses, like these are ND5 filter, right? This is a solar view glasses, right, which you can use to observe the eclipse. So whenever if you have this, if you've ordered it from Amazon, it's available on Amazon as well. We also deal in these goggles, but presently we do not have time to deliver it to you, right? So for future purpose you can obviously order from us, right? So if I see through this goggles, how I can check it is, check it at an LED lamp or a bulb, right? If you see these goggles, you cannot see the LED lamp, you can only see the sun through these goggles. That is what makes it uh, so I usually buy it because I have a business of astronomy. You can say, like, I'm into astronomy, and we have a company which is dealing in these products. So we source it from the manufacturers. But yes, you can easily buy it on Amazon if you want for future, but not for this eclipse. For future eclipse purposes, you can get the equipments from us as well, right? So solar filter, you can put it in front of the goggles and see. There is a particular welder's glass. Do not confuse with any welder's glass, please. I am telling this very carefully. This is only the Eclipse glass number 14 or above. So Eclipse glasses are graded by number. Sorry, welders glasses are graded by number. Welders glass, the welders use a glass to actually do the this welding thing, right? So if the grade of the welder's glass is number 14 or above, and it's certified by an agency like ISO or uh, you know uh, American standards or any other agencies, you can use a welder's glass, right? But it should be number 14 or above, right? So other than that, but what I recommend you to watch through is an indirect method, which is very easy, and you can easily do it at home, right? Make it at home, do it today, and it will help you tomorrow to observe the eclipse. So one interesting thing that I'm going to tell you to make is a pinhole projector, right? And we'll make it in the form of a box projector, right? Pinhole projection is something that is very common, and some interesting thing that you can do with pinhole projection is like you can see one dot over here, right? So it will project the eclipse over here. Similarly, you can make another a set of dots. Suppose I write Astro Wanderer on this particular sheet, and just pierce few dots using the pin. The dots should not be this big, right? Just a safety pin dot or a thumb pin dot, and pierce through this. You will see here the same name written with eclipse sun. So that you can do. Very interesting thing to do. I would like you all to write your name on a paper, just pierce several pinholes in it, and see the shadow of eclipse sun. Do this during the eclipse, right, when the sun is eclipsed by the moon. So you will see the shadow, different eclipsed sun making your name, right? That's very interesting thing to do. So a telescopic projection is something that is used in general, right? So you can use a telescope to project the sun. A piece of mirror, you can even use a small piece of mirror to project the sun on the wall. You must have you've done this in your school time, or people who are already in school have played with your watch. When the sunlight falls on your watch, you project it somewhere on the wall. You can see the round image of the sun. Even if you take a square glass, and the wall is at some distance compared to the size of the wall, right? So you will see the image of the sun. It's simple, right? Find a dark place which is just up in the same direction as of the sun. Take a mirror and just project the sun image in the dark place, and you will see the eclipse, entire phase of eclipse on that projection, right? Making your own box projector is very easy, right? You need following items. Can I will share a small video of whosoever have registered for the session. I will share a small video of how to make this projector as well. So either you can take a note right now, or you can later just see these. So what all things you need? You need an aluminum foil, you need a scissor, you need a pair of scissors, you need ruler, you need thumb pins, you need glue, you need shoe box, you need I'm used a shoe box. You can use any similar box, just that the light should not go into it, right? You need a pencil. I've used a knife. You can use a thermocol cutter, right? You need an electric tape, right? So just going ahead, what's the concept behind wait a minute, just so what's the concept behind a pinhole projector? What happens, pinhole actually works as a kind of a lens, right? You all must have seen a lens. So what happens, whenever the light passes through the lens, it makes an image on the other side. So a pinhole actually works as a lens. So in previous days, the cameras were made as a pinhole. So the light passes through the pinhole, and the image was made, the inverted image was made on a wall. Because the sun is round, so the orientation doesn't matter much. So it's just that the moon is entering from top, you will see it entering from down, right? But still it's better to watch it, right? So how to make it? It's very simple. Just open the shoebox, right, and paste a white sheet on the opposite side, because I had this shoebox of black color, and black is always safe to observe the sun. Make anything which is used to observe the sun, because it does not let light enter it. So this region was black, and I won't be able to see the projection, or the because this wall will act as my screen for the sun. So I won't be able to see anything if it's black in color. So I just cut down a A4 size sheet into the size of this wall and paste it using a glue, right? I just wanted to know everyone is with me over here. Just give me a moment. So, okay, so yes, everyone is here. Everyone is here. Okay, very good. So you can simply, just there's a technical issue. So on the outer side of the opposite wall, that means if I have made the the wall which on which I have stuck this paper is on this side. So on the opposite side, I have this box over here, right? You can see this. This is what you all are making, right? So this is a box, right? So if you see, if I open it to you, right, you can see I have pasted it with white sheet over here, right? And on the opposite side, you make two holes, right? You can make two squares of 3 cross 3 centimeter, and just cut it out using a blade, or not a blade, because I won't suggest a blade because it's very dangerous, right? So you can use a knife, or you can use a thermocol cutter, but do it very carefully, right? Do it if you are a child, or if you are a kid, do it in your supervision of a parent, or someone elder, so that it do not cut your hand or something, right? Just after you cut these two holes, use a four, suppose the hole is of 3 cross 3, so I will use a slightly larger aluminum foil just to cover the one of the hole. So I'll cover one of the hole, and using I will secure it using a electric tape, right? So you can see it's fixed now. Then what we are going to do is, we are going to pierce a small hole, okay, a very very tiny hole. So I have used a thumb pin over here. You can use a safety pin as well, but make sure the hole is very tiny. The tinier the hole is, the crisper image you are going to see. Okay. So make a tiny hole on it. Now, just give me. So what I'm going to do is, okay, hold the knife away from body. Okay, very good, Anish. So yes, just be safe. Do not hurt yourself while you are using the knife or cutter. So yes, we will be using you know before, like, once you are done this, you have pierced the hole, close the box, secure it the lid, right? Now one thing that you need to check is, there are only two opening for light to enter. One, this hole, and this viewer. This is the place where I am going to place my eyes. So from no other place the light should enter. So if you look at a torch, or a bulb, or a tube light through this hole, so you should only see the light coming from one end, right? From one point, from this hole, nowhere else, right? If the light is coming from other places, it's actually dangerous, okay, to use. Okay, observing through the box projector, how you can observe it? Do not look at the sun through it like this. That's the wrong method to do, right? You need to look at the ground, right? Like this. Look at the ground, and the sunlight will come and enter this pinhole right over here, and it will so just give me a moment. So enter this pinhole. Pinhole is over here. Sunlight will enter the pinhole, and it will cast inside, it will cast an image on this wall, right? So another interesting tool that you can make using household material is take a small piece of mirror, right? A small piece of mirror. Do not cut it from an old mirror, otherwise it's really dangerous to cut a mirror, right? You can get it from a mirror shop. Just ask them to cut you a small piece, right? They're not going to charge you much, right? And use a thermocol ball.
Sir, where we have to put the aluminum foil?
And aluminum foil is on the one of the end. Just get back to you. So when you cut these two, so you all learned this cutting this two hole, right? So I have put the aluminum foil on the left side, right? So here I have put, see, this is the aluminum foil over here. I have put it on this hole.
Sir, do we have to stick the aluminum foil from the outside or the inside?
Outside. You can see, it's not, the point is not the where you put it, it's not, doesn't matter much. What matter is the light should not enter, right, from any other place except from that pinhole. Do you understand? This is the place. You need to understand this. In the entire box, I will just talk about the concept of this instrument, not go into the how to make it or something like that, right? This is the place where you are going to put your eyes and see. So anyways, when you put your eyes, you're obstructing any other light to enter. This is the place you are putting the aluminum foil, right? Now when you pierce the hole over here, this hole, right? When you pierce this hole over here, then the light is only entering through this hole and no other places, because you have already blocked this particular place by your face. You put your eyes, the light is only entering the box using this hole, no other place. Yes, Anvesha, I'm going to send you the video. Don't worry. Aditi, you do not have these things. I believe aluminum foil and just try. See, the aluminum foil is not compulsory. You can use a black paper here as well. But the only reason we are using aluminum foil is when you pierce the hole through aluminum foil, the hole is very, very, circular and very, very crisp. But in with the other method, if you use any other method, the hole generally gets bigger, or the hole is not that crisp. So aluminum foil generally gives you a very, very fine hole. That is the only reason. Otherwise, anything which blocks the light completely and you can pierce a hole through it can work over here. Do not use a transparent thing, only use a opaque thing, right? Yes, Anvesh, I'll send the video. Okay, so I told you how to observe. Do not look at the sun like this through the box projector. Rather, the sunlight should fall on the aluminum foil and enter the hole on the aluminum foil, and you will see the image on the other side. Here I have created a ball projector, right? This is again a very simple method. Just take a piece of mirror, just finished piece of mirror if you can get, or if you have a bigger piece, you need to keep it very far from the wall. The bigger the piece is, the farther from the wall you keep. How do you know if it's far enough or this is a good place for the distance? Suppose I take a square mirror, right? The sun image is always circular. So when the mirror is close to the wall, it will reflect a square image. But once you take this far away, the image will turn circular after a certain distance. That means now you are able to see the image of sun. uh, you do not have electrician tape, it's not a problem. Just use a black tape and make sure everywhere the light is sealed. Okay. Okay, Shaurya, Sanskriti, use a normal sellotape. Okay, or you can even use a glue. The tape is generally more convenient. That's why I suggested an electrical tape, right? So so this was all for Eclipse today. So I just wanted to know, we do a lot of classes for schools. Yes, beta, I'll come to your question. I'll come to your questions, right? Just give me 2 minutes more and I'll come to your question. So we do a lot of classes for students of grade 3 to 9. We are also trying to include 1 and 2, and we will come up with their classes soon, right? So if you want, if you know a kid who is studying in this age group, and if you want them to learn space science, our first class is totally free of cost, and it has a lot of things to learn. So we give the first class totally free of cost. If you want this, you can simply go to this link, and you can fill the form over there, right? You can note down this particular link. I will send this to you over email as well, right? Otherwise, if you have any further query, this is my WhatsApp number. Do not call me, I cannot take so many calls obviously, but if you WhatsApp me, sooner or later I'm going to reply to you. Okay, so this is my number. You can note it down, right? And I will reply to you if you have any further queries. Okay, everyone. So thanks, that's all for today. You all have been a great audience. So I am going to start the Q&A round. Anya says that scientist claims 21 June solar eclipse can kill coronavirus. Harshita, presently not. We are not, enrolling class 10th students, but yes, soon we will come up with some workshops which will be from 10th till college level, right? Welcome, Sandhya. Welcome. Okay, Anya, this the news that you are sharing with me, the 21st June solar eclipse can kill coronavirus is what I prefer to say it's a hoax or it's a fake news, right? Solar eclipse is not going to have any effect on coronavirus as of my knowledge, right? And as per the knowledge I have, but if you still can find something like a research paper which claims this particular thing, or certified research from a certified research journal, I will surely learn it and explain it to you as well. So you have my WhatsApp number. If you want, you can share your research papers with me, and whatever you have ready. Do not simply believe on what you see, especially on WhatsApp these days. A lot of fake news related to coronavirus, and specifically coronavirus because it's very very famous these days. So a lot of fake news are circulating on WhatsApp, and the people who are threatened the most by these fake news, which are non-scientific and totally they kill your scientific temperament, so are the kids, right? Because you people are at an age where you need to understand science, right? This is the time where your mind will develop to think scientifically in future, right? So if you believe anything just coming out of if someone trusted is saying it, don't believe anything. Even if I am saying it, I say this, right? So if you do not, if I say something, and if it's actually doubts your logical mind, go online, read certain research papers and verify it, right? Jagran Josh. Again, Anya, I would again defer to say this, right? A lot of newspapers are also circulating these kind of unscientific news. So I would just say that just for any kind of scientific news where people claim that scientists have saved this, scientists have saved that, or NASA has said this, ISRO has said that, what you can do is you can simply go on online and search for the research paper, and if you're not able to understand it, ask anyone elder in your home to read it out and explain it to you, right? And okay, the Mayan calendar thing, I believe Prathmesh wants to, Prathmesh, Mayans and Indians, they all have the same mythology. They both are mythology. I'm not talking about the same mythology, sorry, right? They are a mythology, right? So believing anything from them or not believing anything from them is totally up to a person, and again it's totally scientific, science based, right? I am not saying that they were totally unscientific. There might be science behind it, might be we are not reached that level of science, but why to believe something if you cannot prove it just because it sounds fascinating, right? Astrologers are somewhere I say do not believe them. Their profession is, something that they should not be believed in. Okay, so again, I will tell, always think scientifically. Always, obviously, Sagar, you can use solar view goggles, and if you have a certified solar view goggles, uh, thank you, Shukona. Can you tell me your name? I'm unable to pronounce it at this point of time. Sorry, I'm really sorry if that sounds absurd. Okay. Will dedicate this learning to our fellow astro enthusiasts, Sushant. Oh my God, really? So, very good, good. Okay, so we have 32 participants yet, and I want all of you to participate in a Q&A session. Just let me uh, get back to the Q&A session. Just give me a moment. I will just turn off this sharing, and so you can see me now, right? Can you see me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you see me?
Yes, sir.
So if you have any question, you can ask right now. So I will ask, I will give everyone a chance. So I will start with Anya. Everyone will get one question to ask. So let's start with Anya. Anya, do you have a question? Unmute yourself and ask. Anya Ray.
No, sir.
No, you do not have a question. Very good, Anya. Aditi, Aditi, do you have a question? Aditi, you can unmute yourself and ask if you want. Hi, Aditi. Yes,
No.
no question. Very good, Aditi. I hope you have understood everything I taught. Aditya, do you have a question?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So let's talk to Anay. Anay, do you have a question? Anay, do you have a question?
Can we see the solar eclipse with films?
Who is this? I asked Anay to ask. Anay, are you here? Okay, I will move on. Okay, and then I have Anvesha. I will come to you. I will take questions one by one. Sorry for that, but I'll come to you. Okay. So yes, tell me. So my next question is to Anvesha, right? Anvesha, you have a question? Anvesha, do you have a question? No. Okay, Anvesha. So can you please share your mobile number? Who is this? Dashpreet. Dashpreet, you already have my mobile number, I believe, but still I will show it to you. Shaurya, I will come to you for your questions. Chirag, do you have a question?
सर ये है कि सर ये पूछना था कि जो सोलर इक्लिप्स का जो टाइम पीरियड होता है सर वो फिक्स्ड है क्या
नहीं
या
चिराग, जो
रैंडमली
इसका
है
टाइम पीरियड है ना सोलर इक्लिप्स का, वो फिक्स नहीं होता। वो हर इक्लिप्स और मून और सन की पोजीशन, अभी हमने ना मून सन और अर्थ की ज्योमेट्री की कुछ चीज़ें समझी हैं चिराग। ओके, तो जब हम इसको और डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे या फिर उसमें बहुत सारी मैथमेटिक्स इन्वॉल्व है, ठीक है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, बहुत सारे माइनर मूवमेंट्स हैं, और अर्थ पे आप कहाँ रहते हो उस पर भी डिपेंड करता है। तो हर बार अर्थ जो सोलर इक्लिप्स का टाइम होता है और वो होता है, वो अलग होता है, बट ये ऐसा नहीं है कि ये कैलकुलेट नहीं किया जा सकता। ठीक है, इफ़ यू नो द मैथमेटिक्स वेल, आपको मैथमेटिक्स अगर अच्छे से आती है और यू कैन यूज़ इट, यू कैन एक्चुअली use it to calculate it. ठीक है चिराग?
ओके सर थैंक
Okay,
यू
Dashpreet, do you have a question? Thanks Harshita, thanks a lot. Dash, do you want to ask a question?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you Dash. So Anish, do you have a question? Yes Anish, you can unmute yourself and ask if you want.
Yes, sir. I have this question about this timeanddate.com. As I can see, there's a search where we can search the location, but I would like to know, where we can find map as well as.
So if you go on the map and just like you use the Google map, there's a plus minus button, right? So if you just
Yeah.
minus it, you will see the entire world where the eclipse is passing through, wherever the eclipse is visible, right? There will be several shades of pink. The darkest pink line in the center, like a thread, will be the place where total annularity will be seen. Then there will be a bit wider where I believe 90% of eclipse would be seen, and then the wider, then it gets wider and wider and wider, right? So Kerala would be in a very light shade where I believe 27-28% of eclipse is seen. Now this same thing happened in a reversed way when we were observing the eclipse in December. I believe if some of you have observed it, the eclipse which was on 26 December 2019, it was seen very well in Kerala, right? The entire annularity was seen in Kerala, but people in Delhi just saw 20% of the eclipse, right? Now it's reversed this time. The people of Delhi and North India are seeing bigger eclipse, and the people down south are seeing a smaller portion of the eclipse, right? Partial eclipse. So I believe that answers my question, Anish. So
Yes, sir.
Divya, do you have a question? Divya, you can unmute or just simply write.
Sir,
Yes.
when will we see a total solar eclipse
The
in Gurugram?
Gurugram, the total solar eclipse in Gurugram, the next eclipse, I believe, I need to check. I'm surely right now, I do not know it, but yes, you can actually check it online, right? You can even Google it online, but if you want, I can, you just write this question to me on WhatsApp and I will answer it to you, right?
Sir, I will work.
Okay, so then, Divya, do you have a question? Okay, no doubt. Divya wrote, no doubt. Himani, so Himani, do you have a question here? Or you can simply write on the chat box that you do not have a question. Okay, thank you, Himani. Harshita, do you have a question? Okay, Harshita already wrote. So she wrote that, sir, you explained everything so well that I do not have a question. Thank you, Harshita. Thank you so much. Right. So Kirti Kashyap, she asked me how's the eclipse visible from Varanasi. Kirti, I'll just check for Varanasi. I did not check it, sorry, but I'll check for Varanasi. So there was a very beautiful eclipse visible in Varanasi in 2009. I was there. So total eclipse. So the percentage from Varanasi is 77.32%. It's going to be a really beautiful eclipse. 77% of the sun would be covered by the moon. Right? You can even search it for yourself on uh, online, right? On the timeanddate.com that I introduced you to. Kuldeep, do you have a question? Kuldeep doesn't have a question.
Sir, please tell me about Delhi's beat again.
The Delhi's again. See, I can tell you, but I what I wanted was I wanted you to equip with a tool, right? So that you do not need anyone to tell this to you, but you know it yourself. So Delhi, it's 94% nearly, and it's starting at 10:20 a.m. and maximum eclipse will be seen around 12:140. That means around 12 hour 2 minutes, and the partial eclipse and the entire eclipse ends at around 150 or 149, right? Okay, so that's answer my question. Kunal, do you have a question? Kunal doesn't have a question. Okay, so Mukund, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay, Prakhar, do you have a question? Prakhar, I believe, I'm forgetting your name. uh, it's I believe Sankalp, right? Okay, you do not have a question as well. Prince, do you have a question? No question. Ritesh Mohanty, do you have a question?
No,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, okay, no. Okay, Sagar, do you have a question? Any question do you have?
Yes, sir, I have two questions, sir. So I'm turning on my cam. Can you see my solar view goggles are accurate for this viewing solar eclipse?
And you can see that there is no hole or anything damages on the goggles, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
if
Oh,
if if
fine.
if you find a hole, you can also do one thing, right? You can fix it with a black electric tape, just the black electric tape, nothing else, okay? Because
So,
black
but
electric tape, right?
so the goggles are fine, right? No?
Right. The goggles are fine, some completely fine to observe. Right. Solar view goggles, not the general sun goggles. I'm talking
Yes.
about the solar view
Yes.
goggles, which are generally called eclipse goggles as well. Right. The one I showed to, this goggles I'm talking about. Your normal sun shades or goggles are not safe to watch the eclipse. Do not come to me, right, saying that sir you told goggles से भी देख सकते हैं. I'm not talking about those goggles. I'm talking about this goggles, this specific solar view goggles. And what's the specification of this? You cannot see even the tube light with this. It's so dark. You can only see the sun. Okay. So uh,
And sir, one more doubt is that, sir, since it rained here in the morning, so will this solar eclipse be visible? Will there be a clear sky tomorrow?
in any kind of astronomical event, the weather is always a problem, right? So you need to be patient, right? If the weather gets clear, it's good. If you can, I won't suggest anyone to travel at this point of time, but if you can, you can travel and safe and in your area, do travel to a place which has weather. There are a lot of apps and websites where you can actually check weather, like AccuWeather and things like that. And I believe if you check it today, tomorrow's weather will show you the exact weather for tomorrow. But apart from all this, if you want to exactly know, the weather, just know about it in prior, and that's it I want to say. If otherwise, if you even if you have cloud cover, I would say that constantly be patient, and with the starting of the eclipse right from 10:15 to 1:50 or 2, whatever is the time, just be at your terrace, bear the heat, because even if for a second you are able to see the eclipse, that will be worth your patience, right? So be a true astronomer. And astronomers bear too many things. Several times we go for night sky gazing in Ladakh, right? The temperature is freezing cold at night, and we just wake up with all our coverings and all. So things are there. Every interest demands some sacrifices that you need to do. Shaurya, I'll come to you. Sankalp, your question. No question. Very good, Sankalp. Sanskriti, do you have a question? Yes, Sanskriti, you have got the correct link, right? Okay. Then I have Shaurya. Shaurya, you were going to ask me something. Now you can ask.
Sir, I have a hole in my hip. What should I do? I have a hole here.
I'm not talking about this hole. This is a very big hole. I'm talking about if you want to use this box, you should cover
Sir, I
it.
have made.
Okay.
Sir, I have made the hole, this no start today, so at least I'm not able to you.
Okay, so the hole that is already there, you can cover it with a black paper or a black tape or a thick cardboard, right? Paste some thick cardboard or black paper or black tape, or you can use this hole as the viewer where you will put your eyes. Okay, sorry? Do you understand?
Sir, so what shall I do of this hole which I have already made the video?
So if you that's what I'm telling you. If you want to use that hole as the viewer, you can use it, or you can cover it and cover it with a piece of paper, black paper or a thick cardboard or something which does not let the light in. Okay, understood, Saurya? Okay, Srihita, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. I am Sunita, but in this next written Shweta, I have a question that we should not see the solar eclipse with our naked eyes, but in ancient times, the people don't know that we should not see with our naked eyes, then it would not affect them.
Obviously it affected them. A lot of people, in ancient time might have got damaged their eyes, right? But do we know right now how many exactly got their eyes damaged by looking at the sun? Right, even if I do not tell you, would you not try to look at the sun? But just looking at the sun actually makes your eye pain, right? Even if you look at a bright object, you feel the pain in your eyes. So that is the general stimuli due to which people don't look at bright object, right? Like anything, right? Would you keep your hand on a hot pan? No, because even if you touch it with a finger, you will feel the sensation of the burn. Same way, looking at a very bright object, you feel the pain in your eyes and you do not see it. This is general tendency, but still, because eclipse is a very beautiful phenomena, if someone would try to observe it without a protection, this will damage their eyes, and this can damage to the level of blindness as well. So never observe the sun through your naked eyes. And in ancient times as well, a lot of people might have been affected with it, but you do not know, or neither we can prove it right now. Okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have another question.
Yes, please.
Please, can you send me the activity which you have
I
shown?
I will send you a small video of the activity. Okay, Shweta? What was your name? I forgot.
Sumedha.
Sumedha. Okay, Sumedha. Okay. Okay. Shukona, do you have a question? This. Do you have a question? Srukona. Srukona Kanchi, do you have a question?
Hey Abhinav, this is Srijana here.
Okay.
So my
Oh,
surname
sorry,
got
sorry, sorry, sorry. So what's your name? Srijana.
Srijana, yes.
Srijala. Okay. Hi, Srijala. So do you have a question, Srijala?
Nothing as of now, but I'm really excited to make the projector apparatus today for tomorrow. So
So,
if I get any doubt in between, I might bug you over Facebook.
sure, sure, sure. You can bug me over Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever comfortable, whatever make you comfortable, right? And I will be happy to help you, right? Okay.
Sure, thank you so much.
Most welcome. So, Tanay, do you have a question? Is Tanay over here?
No, sir, I don't have.
Great, Tanay. So I believe you understood everything, right? Vedant, do you have a
Yes, sir.
question?
Yes, sir, I have a question. Sir, can we see the solar eclipse with X-ray films?
See, Vedant, what's happening is initially like in previous times, the X-ray films were made of chemical material. So they were chemical films, right? Like the photographic films. So you just need to understand that ancient or not ancient, but 10 years, 12 years down the line, the X-ray films were safe to see the sun because they had the required material. But right now, these days, the X-ray films which come are digital prints. These are digital X-rays, and they should not be used for observing the sun. So X-ray films should not be used for observing the sun. Did I make myself clear, Vedant?
Yes, sir.
So do
Yes,
not
sir.
observe the sun with an X-ray film. Okay. So Yukti,
Okay,
do you
sir.
have a question?
Sir, can I ask? I'm Aditya.
Aditya, I'll come back to you. Let me ask Yukti first. Yukti, do you have a question? Yukti, do you have a question? You can write. Okay, no doubt, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. Okay, welcome, Yukti. Okay, Aditya, yes, you can ask me the last question and we will end the session after this.
Sir, I have a doubt in the PPT, sir.
Can you please mute yourself? Whosoever song is playing, please mute yourself. Sag. Okay. Yes, Aditya, tell me.
Sir, can you please share the PPT? I need to ask from the PPT.
Okay. Which slide do you want specifically?
Sir, I want to ask from the eclipse that you have told about the first annuality and.
Okay, okay. The contacts. This one.
Yes, sir.
This slide.
The
Yeah.
first. Yes, sir. Sir, can you please again explain, sir? You have said that second moon, so I don't understand the second moon. So.
It's not a second moon. See, See, you need to understand that two circles are, okay, let me take these two. Okay, I have these two circles. Just imagine these are the two circles. Okay, so I have these cut out. Just imagine this as complete circle. I'm just hiding the cutout part. Okay, now when the earth, suppose this is the sun and this is the moon, right? This is the point where the first contact is, when sun's surface is just touching the moon's surface. Understood? Understood, Aditya?
Yes, sir.
Now, slowly the moon gets over the sun, and after some point, when the these two sides of the moon and sun overlaps. Now, because the moon is smaller this time, this point is not completely covering the sun, but it's not completely covering the sun, but it's touching one other side. That's the second contact, right? Now slowly moon gets entirely inside the sun, right? That's annularity, and in case of total solar eclipse it will become totality, right? Now when the moon tries to come out from the sun, it actually touches its other limb, and that is the this is known as the third contact, where it pitches here, and when it gets out over here, this point is the fourth contact. Did you understand it?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have, sir. Sir, can you please send the PPT?
I will share a recording of the session that will have the PPT in it, right?
Okay,
Sure.
thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question from anyone? I'm just ending this particular session for now, right? If you even have any question, you can surely come back to me on WhatsApp. I've already shared my WhatsApp. Does any Yes, anyone saying anything?
Sir, what is the link?
The link for
Solar eclipse.
the link for solar eclipse, I have already shared it with you. The solar eclipse, the link you're talking about, the link of that timeanddate.com, right?
Yes.
I will share with you. Just give me a moment. I just shared it over here, but let me just share with you again. Did you not copy it at that point of time? I want everyone to copy it, please, right? So that I do not have to share it again and again. I'm sharing it once more, but this time I want you all to copy it, okay? Just give me a moment. So I've shared it again, right? Please copy it, okay? And thanks everyone for joining, and have a great day, and hope you all watch the clips, okay? And if you really like this session, I want you all to do one favor to me. Just go on the Astro Wanderers Facebook page and write us a review about this session, small review about the session. The Facebook page is just facebook.com/Astro Wanderer, or you can simply search for Astro Wanderer Education on Facebook, right? So that would all be for today's session. If you have any further question, you have my WhatsApp number and email ID from which you got the
Sir,
email
what
for.
about the Q&A round? Q&A.
But we were having Q&A round.
WhatsApp number.
We have already done the Q&A round, beta. I have asked everyone the questions. Do you have any other question?
Sir, I don't have your WhatsApp number.
I wrote it on the PPT row. I'm writing it in the chat box again. Okay. 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 So thank you everyone. Right. Just copy the number. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot. Okay. I say bye bye to you all, and do not forget to do that activity where I told to you to write your name on a piece of paper and just pierce several hole on it, and just let the eclipse sun make your name, right? That would be pretty awesome, right? Just share that picture with me, okay? If you do that, do share the pictures of the eclipse with me. I will be waiting for that. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a great day. Bye, take care.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.